When I did mine,
Well, we've always
I got 430.
they've always
No,
been
I
present
know, I
in the
remember
bee.
doing that. Yeah, yeah, I would have to do the hot dog.
We always do saturated, but because the bee now has a home, you know, they're transmitting among the bees and it spreads more through the brood. So it's not necessarily.
Well, it's amazing because when before I did the hot guard, I saw like
The mite
two mites on the
has
tray, and
the
that's it.
ability, I
And
think
after
it's
the
how
hot
we
guard,
smell,
they just
to know just before that's going to be capped. That's when they shoot in there. So there'd be more in their vicinity than where the cap brood was. They prefer the drone, but if there's no drone, no massive drone, then they'll go to any larva that has more, the female has more chance to bring, instead of 2 viable offspring, she might be able to bring 3 or 4
I think it's like any kind of virus.
at the time.
You know, if the mites, you know, not totally, but if bees are under stress because of mites, and then they're being sucked on by mites, you know, it's going to be possible.
The literature says drones are 5 to 17%.
I can't remember. I should have looked at my notes. Did we see virus in this last fall? Just high mite load.
Yep.
Maybe these mites have a natural resistance.
It is.
You know, let's go next door and see what we see.
Oats in the super.
It wouldn't.
Oats in the super. I've never put oats in the super.
I do.
You can.
It's just to keep them from treading across the, you know, the frames below to get up there. They can go right in.
If I can con Mo into it, does anyone want to see a powdered sugar dose in one of these?
Sure.
She doesn't want to be conned.
The thing with sugar is if you take we've seen that if you take a sugar dusting to sample for mites and then take those same bees and wash them with alcohol, you'll see more mites with the alcohol because it just we've just killed 100 bees. I mean, it's not for a hive that big. You'll lose that on a thunderstorm on a sunny day, you know, out foraging. So it's not a lot. And you're getting a much better representation of what you've got. It doesn't kill bees, but for me, I want to know more precisely what I have for mites. Let's look at some of the other ones here.
I just slept through that last bit you said, so if you powder sugar them first and then do the wash?
You'll pick up more mites, the ones that didn't get knocked off from the powdered sugar. Yeah. Very good. A pint jar, a couple fingers, and you're going to see. Yeah, if you start to see that. Yeah.
So did you alcohol them and no, you just treated them prophylactically for them? But it's still like that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Oh.
So this is a nice spot. It's an ideal location. Hill behind, blocking the north wind, get air drainage out front, sunshine all day beating on them. It's hard to find a good apiary site. It's like anything in real estate. Location, location, location. You know, if you don't have a good site, it's harder to keep bees. It seems to be more prevalent now than it ever was, having a good apiary location. And what I tell people when I go around looking at bees is, I've got a lot of hives, and I only have one hive on my property. It's very enjoyable, though, to go out in the evening or if you're keeping bees, it's the enjoyment of watching them. I don't have time to actually watch bees anymore, but I have only one hive on my property. Everything else is on somebody else's land. It's very, because they don't winter there. They don't winter well. I'm on a sort of a wooded piece, and I bring one in just for the summer to pollinate my raspberries, and that's it.
So these are splits? That's a split off of the hive on the far side. Okay. The third week in May.
Now this is something that you can get away with this time of year, putting the feeder on sticks. I've actually had people who bought packages whose bees in the early spring couldn't break this gap to get to the sugar syrup because it's cold in April. You can just remove those sticks and put that hole right over the this hole right over this. You don't need the sticks. This gives a few more bees access to it, but in early spring, what this is doing is actually letting a little bit more heat out of the colony as well. So I put the feeder right over the hole, put the box on top. But you don't want to feed a package like that early spring because they certainly can't break cluster enough to get away, to get to the syrup. I do like those feeders though. If you need to feed bees in a hurry, they'll suck it down real quick with one of this type of feeder, as opposed to a bucket. If you have 4 hives and you only have 2 feeders, you can rotate them back and forth. They'll suck one of those down in a day sometimes because they can access a lot of syrup at once.
They do every day.
Yeah.
Before I'm even back to the house, it's empty.
And the tail.
Well,
If you're feeding something like fumagillin, this is a better system because you want a longer dose. The fumagillin acts as it works better. It's meant to be fed over a longer period of time to knock the spore level down in the stomach of the bee. Doctor said they should quit smoking.
So you're saying don't put those sticks on any time, right?
I'm saying you can do it now, but don't, especially don't do it if you're trying to feed in an emergency situation and it's cold. They can't, especially a smaller cluster, they can't necessarily break that ½ inch to get up there to the syrup. This time of year, it's not, doesn't matter. So, this is, I don't know what and where people have been taught, but I always pull this frame here. This one, if it's full of comb, it's going to be adhered to the wall. So I always go for that frame. It's one that the queen isn't likely to be on, although I see fresh eggs there. So a lot of times she is on it. This is there's eggs on this side too. This is a hive that's leaving room, I think, very soon.
Sorry, Maureen.
I know, I gotta get on those boxes.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying before. You know, they're not going to draw this frame out on this side as well. But if there's brood here, you don't want to set this on the outer wall. See how they're drawing that side, but they're not drawing the side that's close to the wall? Yeah. You could just rotate it like that and put it back in. Now they've started on this side, so they're more likely to finish it. But I'm not going to put this on the outer wall because it's got eggs in it. And that'll keep them busy.
Just buy me a couple of days.
Yeah, well, there's a mite right there. I just saw a mite on walking on the rim of these cells.
Oh yeah, I see it.
She's on this.
Boy, they going along.
She's on this frame of larvae because they're getting ready to cap this. See, they've started to cap it here, but she's getting ready to go in these cells to lay eggs. Oh, sure.
Right there, you can see her walking. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it.
You can see the queen from here?
No, I can see that.
Small, but dead one on the
Might.
left. Where?
I lost him now.
I
saw her when she first.
Yeah.
She's down near the bottom frame. Well, I